Hey everybody, Darren Rhodes here from across the hall of your office, that is. We did a great training this morning on a pretty cool Facebook strategy to stay in front of your people. When I say people, I mean your database of past clients, people that already know you, like you, and trust you, and all those things. So the class went about 90 minutes, and we figured that might be just a little bit too long. And, some of it got, well, let's just say a little boring. So we thought, heck, I'm just going to re record some of this. And instead of walking through the class in a screen by screen basis, I thought we would just go ahead and I'll do screenshots so you can see what's going on and the mechanics of how to make this strategy work. But it's a really cool strategy. It's worked very well for us here on the lending side, and there's no reason it wouldn't work for you on your side or anybody that runs a small business. It's a really, really cool and very inexpensive strategy to run on Facebook. In fact, if I had only one strategy to run, enough budget for one strategy or resources or whatever, this would be the one. So must be allergy season. So let's get rolling on this. And I'm going to insert a little section from earlier today, and then you'll be able to watch that for a second, and then we'll come right back here.
So let's take actually a step back, and we've talked about this principle before, but this is a really, really important principle to understand in our industry. All right, so by raise of hands, what do we have here? About 12 people? All right, counting Randy, 15. No, I mean 13. So, no, 15. How many here are thinking about buying or selling your own personal property right now? Okay, so 2. Oh, okay, 3. So that's a high percentage, okay? How many of you are going to think about lunch today? Yeah, right. Yeah, no, how many are you going to have lunch today? Really? So a couple of you may not, but I mean the vast majority. Okay, so you take 1,000 people, random sample in your market, and you ask, how many of you are going to buy a home right now? The percentage is going to be really low. I don't know what that number is going to look like. It's probably maybe 20, maybe 30 people, right, at any given time. So, but if you ask that 1,000 people, how many of you are going to have lunch today? Well, you're going to have 99%, right? So if I'm running a restaurant that serves lunch, well, gosh, I could have a promotion right here. I could probably convert a few of you today, right? So whatever my promotion is, something free or come on down or whatever, I could probably.
I'd like to go to lunch with Darren today. He's buying.
Yep, we're going to have Reese's Pieces, cereal. What else is back there? Does that make sense? So you're thinking about something all the time. You're going to be thinking about lunch every day. And if I don't get all of you at my restaurant today, I can get some of you. And then if you don't come today, I can get more of you tomorrow. If you don't come tomorrow, I can probably get more of you this week, right? So how I frame my ads for my hot dog truck or whatever it is going to be far different than real estate. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. And I've talked to a lot of you guys, and something I've heard is, oh man, I sent out a bunch of flyers. I've sent out 1,000 flyers, and I didn't get anything from it. Well, yeah. So if you post one thing on Facebook and run a campaign for one period of time, oh, I didn't get anything from it. Well, it's the same principle because your audience is pretty small compared to others. And you can maybe you can refine those audiences down the road, but it takes a lot of time and money. I mean, if you've got a big budget, then you can probably go for that more. But a $300-400 budget, it's tough to come up with closings immediately. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm not saying it can't be done or that you shouldn't pursue it, but it's just a little bit more challenging. So let's take those 1,000 people in your market and let's add a year to it. Of all those 1,000 people, now how many of those 1,000 people in a year span may think about buying or selling their own property? Is that number going to go up or down? It's going to go up. It's going to keep going up, right? Now what if you add 3 years or 5 years, right? It's just going to keep going up. So our challenge is to be there in front of the client when they're ready. I mean, if you could drill that down, you would be the richest person in the world, because that means everybody would flock to you because everybody's trying to find that next client, to get in front of them before they're ready. So it's a challenging thing to do. It's very challenging. But there's a pretty cool way that we can work on this really inexpensive, and that's what we're going to talk about. Okay?
Okay, I hope that was pretty useful for you. I'm just going to go over really quick what we're going to cover today so you have a roadmap. We're going to talk about how to stay in front of your people in an automatic and inexpensive way. Obviously, stay in front of our database and our past clients, those types of people. That's the lowest hanging fruit. And so we're going to talk about real quick marketing, the approach to marketing in the real estate industry versus other industries, because it is very different in a lot of respects. But then I'm going to walk you through the mechanics of how to use Facebook to stay in front of your people automatically, even if you don't like posting on Facebook. I'm going to show you how to create the right audience that will work for you and that know you. And then also we're going to talk about creating the right content. And then I'll show you how to set up the ad. So that sounds like a lot, but we're going to go through this pretty quickly, and you'll see, I think you'll catch on pretty quick. Okay, so something that's really important to understand is, and this applies to all businesses, is that it does cost far less money to retain clients than it does to attract a new customer. That's really super important to understand. So when you, and we've all been there, by the way, if you have a friend or a family member who's a past or repeat client, think how easy it is to service those clients and pick up business from that individual when they keep coming back to you because they already know, like, and trust you. And then also people that they refer, you have typically a very high retention rate. Versus a cold audience, well, that's a little bit more difficult to get through. You can do lots of ads and things like that to outside people, and it's totally good. It's totally fine. Not saying that you shouldn't do it. You just have to understand that it takes more resources and overall money, time, and all that kind of thing to convert those people. Okay, so go ahead and look at the stats there. It doesn't take a whole lot to retain an existing customer in terms of selling product, but a new customer, they don't know, like, and trust you just yet. I thought this was actually a pretty interesting stat where online display advertising is used across the board for acquisition of new clients 85% of the time, but it's only used 4% of the time for retention, which is crazy. So why do so many of us do so few paid campaigns on Facebook? And I've talked to a lot of real estate agents, and there are tons of reasons. One I always think is amusing. I don't like to post on Facebook. I don't like to share my personal side of life. Or I don't know if I should manage a business page or a personal page, or the platform is too complex. I know I should be doing something, or I tried a Facebook ad. It just didn't get me anywhere. Small budget, blah, 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 blah. So there's a million reasons why so many of us have tried and failed, or simply not tried at all on paid campaigns on Facebook. But today is a different day. Okay? I'm going to talk about the power of the custom audience. And it's interesting that when we talk about Facebook, there's a number of different types of audiences. There are cold audiences, just like when you're out marketing to regular people. And then there are warm audiences, just like when you're out marketing to your database, right? So we never typically consider using the power of a custom audience for people that already know, like, and trust us. So I just want to go through, make sure you understand the different types of audiences. Again, this is probably going to be pretty second nature to you, but I think it's really good to clarify. So you have cold, warm, and hot. And your cold audiences obviously are those that have no idea who you are. They're in the acquisition stage. Your warm are people that do know who you are. Your hot audiences are those that you're currently doing transactions with, or all our past clients know, like, and trust you. So you got to ask yourself, okay, if I had to pick one of those audiences to buy my product or use my services, well, gosh, it's got to be the hot, right? And probably the warm. I mean, if you could only pick one, it's going to be the hot, because your conversion rate is going to be really good at that point. And then, the term funnel, you'll hear the term funnels all the time in Facebook strategies and online marketing strategies and all these things. And people are like, oh, I don't know what a funnel is, and I don't even know what that means. But if you're in sales or marketing, you use a funnel every single day. You just don't know it. So or you don't know that term. But a funnel is simply taking a large audience and converting them down to a buying customer. And obviously, as they get warmer and warmer and warmer, they get closer and closer and closer to a buying customer. But if we go back to those 1,000 people in our audience, you start with 1,000 cold people. You're hoping that by the end of a marketing campaign to 1,000 people, that you might get, say, 2 or 3 closings from that marketing campaign. So you started with 1,000 and you funneled down to 3 people. And a funnel can happen in any circumstance, whether it's calling on the phone or running a Facebook ad or whatever. That's what a funnel is. So just bear that in mind. Okay, so what if all of your people, that again, your warm and hot audiences, what if every time they logged into Facebook, they saw you? And this was an interesting question that came up, is how valuable would a captive audience of 100 people be to your business? 100 people, that's could be pretty valuable. Well, what about 200? What about 500, 1,000? What about 2,000? And then here's the magic. What if this audience were a group of people that already knew you? So if you had in your pocket right now a group of 300 people that already know, like, and trust you, how valuable is that to your business? And if you say it's pretty valuable, which I'm sure you will, then why are we not marketing to them even more, right? Because they're going to be they're further down the funnel and they can refer people. Okay, so what is a custom audience and why do it? So this strategy is going to put you in front of your people all the time on Facebook. It's a set it and forget it strategy. It's going to keep you top of mind. It's going to keep you more familiar. We talked about that famous stat in the class this morning of, 89 or 90% of clients always say how much they enjoyed working with their realtor and that they would work with their realtor again. But how many actually did work with their realtor? It's like 13%. It's crazy low. That's because nobody needs a realtor or a mortgage lender until they actually need one. And then it's top of mind. And then once the transaction's done, you're bottom of mind again. So you got to figure out a way to stay top of mind, and this strategy is going to help you out. Okay? So let's do it. Step 1, creating the right audience. So we're going to use Facebook's tools to actually get in front of just your people. So you're not going to be using demographics like age or location or anything like that, at least initially. You're not going to let Facebook pick the audience for you. You're going to tell Facebook what audience you want to advertise to, okay? So here's what we need. You do need a Facebook business page. Okay, now we've talked about this extensively. You do need a Facebook business page, but let me remind you that as an agent, you're going to be personally in front of people, so they care about you more from a personal standpoint, typically than they do a business standpoint. But you do need a business Facebook page to launch paid advertising from, okay? So get that business page if you don't have one already. Now, something that you might be surprised is I would not worry about likes, and I would not even worry about maintaining that business page. I wouldn't even worry about directing people to that business page. It just doesn't really matter that much. I mean, if you've already got that traffic going there, totally fine. That's great. But you don't have to have all that in place for this strategy to work. You just need to have the business Facebook page to launch the strategy, okay? And then you need to get all of your people, past clients, friends and family, neighborhood lists, everything. Just start gathering all your people, and you should have them somewhere in your phone, on Google, Outlook, LinkedIn, even neighborhood lists, stuff like that. And all you need really to be the most effective is just emails and phone numbers. You can get names if you want, addresses maybe, but you just really need names and phone numbers. Okay? So I'm going to show you how to assemble that. And then you're going to need a little creativity. You can't just, you need a little bit. You don't need a ton, so don't let that be a barrier. You need a small budget, and I'll show you how small, and you need to put together your schedule. So it's really, really simple. Here we go. So you're going to go to business.facebook.com. Okay, so you're going to create your business page if you don't have one already. Then you're going to go to business.facebook.com, and here you're going to show, or you're going to acquire, and I'm going to show you how to do that really fast, actually, on my page. So here you're going to go to here's business.facebook.com, and it's going to show you the overview here. Okay. Now then you'll go to business settings and pages. This is sometimes tricky to find because it doesn't show it, but that's pages, and it defaults to that. And now, actually, excuse me, it does not default to that. It defaults to people. So now you want to add your business page into your business account. Okay, and you do that by clicking on Claim a Page up here in that right-hand corner. You would type the name. It would find it, hit claim page, and said, oh, it'll say you're the admin for that page, so it'll already add it, and then you're good to go. Okay? So set up your business page inside of business.facebook.com. This is your ads manager. This is where all the magic happens. Okay? Now, once that's done, now you're going to be in a position to start your audience creation. Okay, now that you've added your page in and claimed your page, now we're going to go to audiences. We're going to create a new audience, okay? So the question is, as I'm bringing this up, is what is an audience? An audience is going to be the list of people that you are telling Facebook to market to, okay? Now, Facebook can decide that audience for you through its demographic strategies and filters, which are very killer, by the way. But for this strategy, we don't want that. We want you to be able to market to specific people on Facebook and not who Facebook chooses for you. Okay, so think about that just from the standpoint of, if you were sending out a mailer. You can send it out to your database, to their specific addresses, or you could send out a mailer to a neighborhood of people that don't know you. So that's what it's like. It's really like sending out Facebook posts just to people that know you and, again, like you and trust you, your database. Okay? All right, so the first step you're going to take is you're going to go into audiences, and I'll click on that again to make sure you saw it, audiences. If it's not showing up there, just go over all tools, and then you'll see it down in this side. This is where all of here's audiences specifically, but this is where all of the links are. Okay, so we're on the audiences page, and we're going to create an audience, and we're going to create a custom audience. Okay, now it's going to say, who do you want as part of your custom audience? You've got 4 choices here, right? We just want a customer file, okay? And we just want to copy and paste the data. This is where the magic is. Many people do not use Facebook with this specific custom audience, but this is the magic, all right? So this area right here is where you will put the the emails and phone numbers. At the very least, emails, okay? If you can get phone numbers in, that's great too. Facebook has added all of these that you can add to your spreadsheet. I'm not sure how much more those are going to help. And the reason why is when you upload an email to Facebook right here, then Facebook's going to take that email and it's going to cross-reference it to accounts that Facebook has. And anybody that has a registered account with that email address will go on your list. Okay? So if you have 1,000 people and you have their emails, and you upload that email list to Facebook, that email list will then become the audience that you will market to. Okay, is this starting to make sense? Is this starting to see the possibilities here? So go grab your friends and family. Go grab all the people that know, like, and trust you. Go grab your past clients, as many people as you can come up with that have some kind of connection to you. Get their emails if you have them, and their phone numbers if you have them. And the cool thing is you can just copy and paste right in here, which is crazy. It's so easy. If you want to organize it, then throw it into a CSV file or a text file. I would do CSV. I put all the emails in one column, all the phone numbers in the other column. Okay, that's all you need. Now here's the great thing, is Facebook will do all the sorting for you. It will do it doesn't care about duplicates, blank spaces, anything in there that's not an actual email or phone number, it will just ignore or generate an error report for those pieces of information that don't match. So you're going to be able to upload, you can just throw names on a sheet or just copy and paste them and upload them into Facebook right there. Now Facebook's going to go through again and cross-reference everybody, cross-reference all those email addresses that are tied to the accounts. And I have found that typically you get about a 60 to 70% match rate. So if you upload 1,000 people, then your audience size in the end will be somewhere between 600 and 700 people. So just plan on that. That's still awesome. It's not 100%, but it's still awesome. Okay? So once that's uploaded, you'll hit next. It'll upload them. It'll say thank you, and you'll name your audience right here. So you've got it. And then when it's finished, it will show up in your audiences. So here's one that I did we got all of our past clients, all of our SOI, everybody that we knew, and you'll see that it was 1,600. We have 1,600 people. There's no duplicates in that. And we uploaded that in March of 2017. And then what I did is I just did a test. I copied and pasted the same data right in here, and it came up with the same number. So both of them were just equally as accurate, which is great. Okay. Now there's one really cool thing that you can do, and I would recommend doing it. Let's go in. You'll see how this one's very similar, SOI in Utah, No Mortgage Pros. So what I've done this time is I've uploaded everybody, but then I put some qualifiers to the audience itself. You don't have to do this, but I think it's pretty useful because then you're not throwing money at people that may not make sense. So I took everybody that didn't live in Utah, I excluded them. So they needed to live in Utah. I didn't care about their age. And then I also eliminated I excluded them if their job title was mortgage broker, loan officer, or mortgage bank. Why? Well, I don't necessarily want to advertise to my competitors. I'm not worried that they're going to see what I'm doing necessarily, because everybody does their own thing anyway. But I don't want to put money into competitors and have them chew up my budget, if that makes sense. Okay, so how do you edit that? I'll show you really quick. You click on it. Here it is, and then you can just go right in and edit it. See that? Here's the custom audience. People that live in this location. I could add locations. If you want to drill it down and run to people just in Utah County or whatever, you could. And then I excluded these people. Now, something that's interesting, if you want to exclude a realtor, for example, because, again, you don't want to chew up your budget, you'll see how it has interests. And job titles. I would use job titles because somebody's interested in real estate doesn't necessarily mean that they're a realtor. But here as a job title, yeah, that's what I would put in there. Okay, so as you can see, you update that audience when you're completed with that. So now you've got your custom audience, everybody that's living in, or all my past clients from March on, or March or before. They live in Utah. Their ages are that. I didn't really worry about the age, and I excluded my competitors. Okay? And then you can go ahead and save it. And there's the key. You've got it. You are ready to go. You can put whatever you want. Or you can market whatever you want to these people. Pretty darn cool. All right, so let's move on to step 2. By the way, I do have a separate ninja strategy on how to get your names out of Facebook itself, but we'll have to do that a later day, okay? This just kind of walks you through Google, an idea of how to export it and what it's going to look like. So Google's going to give you tons. I'll just show you that really quick. You can see across that screen there's just tons of columns. Just delete everything except email and phone numbers. You can just do email, okay? Same thing, LinkedIn will allow you to export. And then you save it as the CSV, and then upload it like I showed you. Now, you do need 100 people. This is a relatively new Facebook requirement. You do need 100 people at least on your in your group to run ads to, okay? So after our upload, we've already walked through that. Here's the cool thing. Facebook's going to automatically remove all your duplicates. And it's going to match everybody that's on Facebook, like I talked about. And we talked about the 60 to, it's actually 70% there. Now, one thing to keep in mind, it can take up to 30 minutes for that upload and that parsing to complete. So I had one where I uploaded it. It was 1,600 people. And in the first 10 minutes, it showed I only had 25. And so I thought, oh, man, I'm toast. Then a half hour later, it updated to the right number. Okay? So fine-tune your audience. We talked about that. Excluding certain people, dial in your appropriate geographical data, and then you can amend that audience as you go. Okay? We've already been through some of this. Okay, so now you've got your audience. You are good to go. So now what are you going to say to them? But isn't this cool? Just think about the value of having people that are already connected to you, having a way to target them directly with ads. Now, you don't want to just pepper the crud out of your people because they'll eventually stop looking at your ads. But you want to just create ads that stay right in front of them. So you just want to basically keep your face in front. And in fact, what I would do is I would use my personal page, my personal Facebook page photo as my profile page photo as well on my business page if I was a realtor. Does that make sense? So whatever picture you're using of yourself for your profile page just on your regular Facebook account, use that same picture so it looks the same on your business account. Okay, remember, you don't necessarily want clicks. So when you're setting up your ads, who cares? You're not going to, it doesn't matter. You can pay for clicks if you want. You just want people to see you and remember you, and you want people to refer you. So it's just like a billboard, except this billboard is very targeted. Okay? So what types of content should you do? We're going to walk through some content, and then I'll give you the schedule on what to do. So what types of content? Well, you can do long copy. I would tell stories, short copy, just a quick. I've seen people do just a quick call out, like, "Hey, I found a really cool house. If somebody knows first-time home buyer, this could be a great house for them. Have them reach out to me." Something like that. You could do just a photo of you. You can run a contest, but you want to keep it pretty simple. Whatever you want to do, you can say, "Hey, check out my new website." But the key is you don't necessarily want people to engage or have a call to action, because that will start chewing up your budget. This is something that's very, very important, because ingrained in us is, hey, I want all sorts of interaction on my Facebook page. And when I post something, I want likes, I want shares, and all that stuff. But in this particular case, you really don't care. You want to just upload your billboard and have it run in front of people all the time. Okay? So I've created some ad samples that I've done personally so you can see. So whenever we have an announcement, then I'll create a quick video if I have time. If not, I'll just put a picture. But Eric and I did a video here. And you'll see that we didn't get a whole lot of interaction, at least on the front of this, but you'll see the kind of interaction we got on the back when I show you the ads manager. But this just rolls through, and I had a lot of people say, "Hey, I saw your ad on Facebook. It was great." We got a client that called us, said, "Hey, yeah, your announcement was relevant to me, and I'm interested in obtaining a mortgage where before I couldn't." This one is what you call a short copy, but has a clickable link on it. So I did a video with Daryl, infamous Daryl Peterson, and I tagged him in it to get a little bit more coverage. But you'll notice that up in the top or right under the blue Leader One Financial, it shows sponsored. That's the only thing that it's a giveaway, that it's an ad, because you'll see below there's no calls to action, there's no learn more buttons, there's nothing like that. Okay? You can tell stories just like you would on Facebook. "Hey, I love my job, blah, 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 blah." This one was a story that we ran for people that felt like they couldn't afford a house. It was long copy. Now, I brought this one up because I wanted to show you the difference. If you see down at the bottom of the ad, you can see there's a Learn More button and a clickfunnels.com link. Well, that is because I did want interaction on that ad. But on your Facebook ads that you want to run just to your people, you don't necessarily want interaction, unless you want them to go down a certain path. But they can get more expensive. The ads can get more expensive if you do that. But again, you can see how these are just kind of native ads. They don't really look like ads. And in fact, if you use stock photography and things like that, it's probably going to be less effective because people will see it as an ad. So easy to do videos with your phone, simple phone pictures, things like that tend to work out the best. Okay, direct people to your Pinterest page. Just listed. I see this all the time, but make sure you tell the story about it. Hey, I just listed this home. It was a really great home. Here's why. La, la, la. Tell a story about it, okay? So you think how much money you can throw into just listed campaign, and then think about how little this is going to cost you and get better coverage. Okay? How about an interesting feature from a listing? Hey, I just saw this really cool gazebo or wet bar or whatever the case it is here. Okay? So use a video, tell a story, throw in photos. Again, just make it what you would normally post. You don't have to be an ad agency to do this. The things that you're talking about normally in real life business, talk about them here. Okay? So the key points: no calls to action, no learn more, sign up buttons or anything like that. We talked about using your same Facebook photo for your profile. Put your name as the headline. That's a great way to brand yourself. And then you're going to be in front of their eyeballs all the time. And, don't try and be super funny or clever or things like that, because it really just comes off cheesy most of the time. That's hard to pull off. Don't ask me how I know. Okay, so what happens if, what happens if they do click on your page, or if you have a place, just have a place for them to go, wherever your website is, or your business Facebook page, or whatever you have. There's links I guarantee you have somewhere that you could send somebody if you needed to. I use a ClickFunnels page for a contact me page on these, so it has a couple of testimonials. Yeah, that's different. But ClickFunnels is what I use. If you have questions or are interested in ClickFunnels, let me know. It's a really cool, powerful tool that I can help you out with. Okay, so what type of schedule? This is what I would do. I would create a content schedule. And I'm just going to roll these in here. These are all ideas. Remember, you don't need these. Let's talk about timing actually on the schedule. So I will typically run one ad for roughly a week. It might be a week to 9 days or so, but I'll run one and then I'll retire it. And then I'll run the next one, and then I'll retire it, and then I'll run the next one, and then I'll retire it. It's always just something new. So what can you put? That you feel like, well, gosh, that's a lot of content. That could be 40 to 50 ads a year, and that's true. So you can do all sorts of stuff, though. Evidence of success. Hey, here's the story. You can tell the story. Make sure you're obeying your compliance and privacy laws, things like that. We talked about the new listings. I've seen one where you say, hey, do you know anybody or do you need real estate help? Call me at this number, and just have your picture. And of course they know it's an ad, but your face is, again, going to just be in front of them all the time. Announcements. Hey, this is what's on my mind. I was driving down the road the other day and I had a thought about low inventory or something like that. Or, hey, I've got a buyer that's looking for this house. Does anybody know a home that meets this criteria? How about a quick thank you? Hey, thank you so much for being great clients. I love my job. I love working with people like you. Also, I'm a real person just like you. Hey, this happened to my family this week. We had a great time going to the lake. I hope you're having a great summer. Thanks for all you do, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So there are 8 categories that you can use, and you could rotate through those 4 or 5 times and have all your content for an entire year. Okay? So go ahead and use that schedule. You're free to knock yourself out with that. Oh, be creative. Okay, so now we've created our audience and we've talked about content ideas. So let's walk through 2 different ways that we can run ads. Okay, I'm going to show you the mechanics of both. And right now I'm actually preferring the second one that I'll show you more. But let's just walk through it so you've got a good idea of both. Okay? All right, here we go. So you're going to go back to your business manager here, business.facebook.com. We've been in the audiences section. Now we want to go to the ads manager, okay? And very, very simple up here. If you've ever created a Facebook ad with your business page, then this will be really, really familiar to you. Okay, so you just click the create an ad, and you want traffic or engagement. Either one is fine. It doesn't really matter on this particular strategy. Okay, these right here you don't really deal with too much. These you don't really deal with. These you could possibly do brand awareness, but traffic and engagement are fine. Okay, whatever you want to name it here, we're going to go ahead and continue. And I'm going to show you just a couple of the things that you need on this side. And then I won't walk through the entire ad because then I'd actually be running an ad. But you call it whatever you want up here, your ad set. So you could call this crappy Facebook ads that work or whatever. And then you want to come down here to your custom audiences. So who are you going to send this ad to? So you can create a new audience here, or use a saved audience, or it'll show your custom audiences right here. Okay, so you'll see here all the custom audiences. Dunk, 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 dunk. But then I've saved the edits on another audience right here, and so I'm just going to use the one that I already saved. Remember, this is the one that I showed you. Okay, so that's done. I don't need to do any more to it unless I want to edit it right here. And if you do want to edit it, then this is not a bad place to do it, and then save it as a new audience, because you can save and delete audiences all you want. Now in placements, I do edit the placements. Okay, I will look at Facebook. I don't want them in the right column. I don't really care about instant articles. Videos, this one wouldn't apply at this point. I do want it in the feeds. The feeds are your mobile and your desktop feeds. That's where everybody sees it. Instagram, I'm fine with them staying on Instagram. That's fine. Audience network, I generally remove. So I'm on Instagram and I'm on the 2 feeds in Facebook. The reason why I do that is because if I have other locations, then my budget's going to go push those ads out to the other locations. Okay. Now our daily budget. We're going to drop this to $5. Whoops, not 500. Facebook will certainly take that, but my friends would kill me. So $35 a week, which is actually pretty cheap. Everything, I just leave this automatic. You don't need to worry about any of this stuff. Okay. We could see if it'll let us go to cheaper. But $5 a day through this side is the minimum it will allow you to do. But I'm going to show you a way to get around that, which is really slick. Okay. So now I got to create the ad. If I'm doing one for leader 1, I got to create the ad in here. So if you've got a pretty elaborate ad, this may be where you want to create it, because they allow you to do videos and slideshows and carousel, all the images and all this stuff. You put links, everything you want. It'll show up right here. Again, I would not do stock photography. I've tested stock photography and it does not work great. People see that as ads. They're going to see it as ads anyway, but their brains will tend to overlook them more than any of the organic stuff. Okay, so your headline could be just your name, Realtor Bob. See, it'll go right there. And description text here, I love stuff. Okay, so and that shows up right here. And I always type extra to make sure that that it looks exactly how I want it to look. Your URL goes there. Okay. Now on your buttons, no button. Remember, no call to action. So these are a little bit more heavy. Okay, these are a little bit more. You can track pixel conversions and all that stuff with the pixel. There's a lot more to these ads than you might think. So this is really designed for getting colder audiences. Okay, but it's definitely doable. You hit place order, but you're going to look at spending $5 a day. Okay, place your order, review it, and then you're done. Okay, now I'm going to show you a very cool way to do this. So it's going to be cheaper and it's going to be easier. All right, so I'm going to have you go back to your business page, and you can access your business page through your ads manager. Here's ours right here. Now, let me show you the magic. Okay. So a few weeks ago, I created a post. See, here's those ads that you saw, by the way. A few weeks, there's the other one. I created this post about the swear jar. So I'm actually going to do this right now. I'm going to boost this and run it right now. So here we go. All you have to do is you've already created a post. So you're going to go into your business page and you're going to create a post just like normal. Not your personal page. Your personal page won't allow this. So go in, hit your post. Doesn't even matter when you posted it. This was clear back in March. Now I'm going to hit boost. And it's going to say, okay, who do you want to send this post to? Well, look at that. Here we are. SOI in Utah, no mortgage pros. So now how much are we going to spend? Well, let's take a look. This is our total budget for the entire campaign. And let's call it $10. Oh, there we go. $10. Usually this populates, by the way. So let's see if we can't get it to populate. Let's go $20. This usually shows. I have found $10 for the entire budget tends to be the best. Sometimes this will give you an estimated reach, sometimes it won't. But $10, I've done $14, so $2 a day, and my coverage is too high. Okay? We don't need to worry about tracking, anything like that. So there it is. That's all you have to do. SOI in Utah, that's my custom audience. I'm putting it at $10 a day. I'm going to run it for a week, so it's going to run until May 22nd. Boost that baby. And then it'll give you all the stuff, okay? All your information. That's it. And now that post right here, our fun little post about the swear jar, is going to be showing up in a ton of people's newsfeed. So that's the easiest way to do it. I wouldn't even create the ad in the ad manager, okay? So I just showed you that, the easier and cheaper way. So I'm going to show you the ads manager, all these things right here. Tracking is your friend because you're going to be able to make a few tweaks based on your ad and you'll be able to save some money. Oops. Go back through that. Okay. So I'll show you this really quick. I'm going to show you the ads manager. So you go back here to your business manager, go to ads manager, and let's do a little bit of analysis just on the page of a couple that I've already run so you can see. Okay? Okay, here's the one that I'm running right now. We've had 329 people watch it for at least 3 seconds. The reach seems like it's 383. Well, gosh, that doesn't seem like that many out of 1,200. But look at the impressions, 901. So my ad has run 901 times. Okay, same with this one. This was recently completed, that one we did. We had 466. That means people that kind of paused or engaged. 431 watches. Impressions were almost 1,200. So what does that even mean? That means for, what was this, $10, I got that impression. $10 more, I got that impression of people seeing my face, our videos, getting helpful information from us. What? Are you kidding? It's amazing. This one was $14. So maybe $14 would be better for my audience size. If your audience size is only 300, then you might only, it might, if you run it $14, it's going to just overrun people. Frequency, this one's actually a really great little number right here, because this shows how many times people that have engaged with your video or your ad have been hit by it. So on average, most people have seen my ad in my audience of the impressions have seen it 2.35 times, 2.48. I don't want it to get much above 2 because then it gets repetitive and people see it. So if this one, in fact, I believe I retired this one slightly early because I had too much money behind it and I was getting, my frequency was already at 2. So I killed it. But there we go. So here we go on this one will be approved soon, and then the stats will start rolling in, and then you can make your adjustments, save a little bit of money if you need to, or spend a little bit more. But think about that. I mean, this is like $1 a day. I mean, you're going to spend more than $7 on lunch on most days. It's insane. Okay. So what's the whole goal of this? Whoop, we've already been through the ads manager. We've talked about those. Sorry. PowerPoint noob. So your goal is just to be in front of people's face all the time in a cool, friendly way. And remember, you're not trying to get engagements like likes or clicks or shares or things like that. I will tell you this, if you do get a lot of engagement on a particular type of ad, then you may want to use that ad to run out to cold audiences. So this is a really great testing ground for your content. Very inexpensive, just like that says. Whoops. Let's go through that again. There you go. So that's what I meant there. Okay, so the master plan. Take one day out of the month. I would not do this weekly. Just take one day out of the month to schedule out your posts. You remember, you only need 4 to 5 a month, maybe even less. You could probably get by with 3. Say, okay, on this week, I'm going to run this ad and gather your information, write your copy, put your ads in, do your videos, whatever it needs to be. And then you can go out and just simply create those posts on your business page, because you can hide them on your business page, and then rotate through, boost them one at a time from week to week. So week 1, I'll boost this one, boom, stop it, then boost the next one, or have it stop automatically, then boost the next one. Super easy. You only have to, and that way you only have to think about it once. So if you do it on a monthly basis, you're only thinking about Facebook really once a month. You're going in on Monday or Tuesday or whatever the day is, and you're starting your new ad set, your new boosting at that point. Okay? Talked about adjusting your dollar amount based on your coverage. Man, just rinse and repeat. Okay, so you got it? Think about what kind of possibilities you have with an established following. Okay? Be creative. All of a sudden, you've got a way to reach your people. How can you continue to reach your people on a day-to-day basis and help them remember you, help them send you referrals? It's so inexpensive, as little as $1 a day. It's crazy that more people are not doing this, but I think it's because they don't realize the power of the custom audience. Okay? If you have any questions, please contact me. I've done this a lot. I am more than happy to help you. I can walk you through some of the steps. I've helped a lot of people in Randy's office already, and I'm more than happy to help you. Come on in and meet our team. I will say that I do have a caveat. I want you to meet our mortgage team. Our mortgage team is very creative and in the strategies that we implement, and we've created a pretty darn special system. And so I love to share my strategies and help you out and build your business. And in return, I'm hoping that you'll build our business with your referrals. So many of you in Randy's office here at Equity have already done business with us, and we've gotten a lot of great, happy clients in both realtors and the buyers. So your people will get serviced top here. And so I kind of hope you do feel a little bit of pressure, because we're doing all we can to help you out on many fronts. So anyway, but yeah, give me a shout. Let's go through this stuff, and man, best of luck. I hope you just go out there and kill it. Thanks so much.